Greetings, Cap fans. Welcome to episode 235 of the Captain America Comic Book Fans Podcast. Hey, I'm Rick Verbanis, and I'm your host. I've got a co-host. You know who he is. That's Bob Lucius, the best one out there. Oh, Bob. I'm just going to apologize right now. Stuff him and cuff him. Coo, 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 coo.
What the heck was that? It's like you had Tourette's or something. What was that?
Oh, coo, 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 coo. Does that
It rings a bell, but I
yeah?
can't place it.
Ooh, I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna get them boys. Coo, coo,
Oh,
coo, coo.
was this Dukes of Hazzard?
Yes, it was.
All right. This is the deputy, right? Works for Boss
No,
Hogg.
well, yeah, well, no, not the deputy. He was the
Cooter.
sheriff.
Coot. Oh, is it?
Sheriff.
Oh, the sheriff. All right.
Yes. Do you remember his
Yeah.
name?
I don't.
Roscoe P. Coltrane.
All right. That's who I see in my head. Yeah. If I
Yeah.
didn't realize, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you watch that show?
I did watch that show as a young.
Didn't we all? I mean,
Yeah.
it was late 70s. I think it was
Yeah.
like a Saturday night kind of prime time,
Wow.
8 o'clock type of show.
Yeah.
Uh,
Whatever happened to Boss Hogg?
I don't know. Yeah.
Gosh,
Got what he was
that white suit,
coming to him, I
white
hope.
cowboy hat. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, though, I actually would side with the police on this one.
Yeah,
Those
they were.
Duke boys were constantly doing bad stuff.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they had a nice sister though. But anyway,
They did. They named shorts after her.
that's right. Yeah,
Little Daisy
mentioned
Dukes.
in the Katy Perry story, a song.
Yeah.
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 Right. So
Yeah. No,
cultural
people refer
phenomenon.
to, yeah, oh boy. What was her name? Catherine Bach?
Catherine Bach. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't wear them. They don't look right on me, but
No?
some folks apparently can pull them off.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could pull them off. It would take really hard because they're really
Yeah.
tight.
Really tight. Yeah.
Yeah. I wear them because I'm a Nevernude.
You're. What's that? What's a never nude?
That's from Arrested Development. Oh God. I'm so disappointed you haven't watched that show.
I
yet.
know.
But one of the characters on there, Tobias, he's a never nude, and so he wears like little Daisy Dukes under all his clothes, so that if he gets naked, he still has the Daisy Dukes on.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
we'll circle back around to this conversation later in the show. I can assure you that.
Yeah. So why am I greeting you with a quote from Roscoe P. Coltrane?
I don't know. Did it come out in 1974?
No, I don't think so.
No.
No,
Hmm.
but there is a character in this.
Oh, there is.
Introduced in this story by the
Yeah.
name of Roscoe.
That's right.
And
That's right.
of course, when I hear Roscoe, I have to think of Roscoe P. Coltrane.
Yeah, of course. That's where the mind goes.
Yeah.
Goes where it wants to go. Right.
It does.
So.
It does indeed. How you doing, Bob? What's shaking?
Oh, so much, Rick. So much is going on. But my gosh, I know. Well, I haven't talked to you for a while, so it's good to see you
Yeah.
again. You're looking rested and relaxed.
Thank you.
Yeah, so it's good to have you back in Capville.
Yes, it's good to be back. I for the listeners, this is coming out. When is it? April. Gosh, this comes out April 9th. And so I got back from vacation. In our world,
Yeah.
just like 4 or 5 days ago. So I was gone for 10 days. But you might notice you didn't miss an episode. We are diligent that way. We make sure that we record these things well in advance so that when we have other things going on, you don't miss an episode, because that's the kind of commitment we give.
That is true. That is true. I tried to get Rick to record from his water top villa in some paradisical island that you probably never heard of, but he said no. We had to do these in advance or do them afterwards. So
I'm just glad my plane didn't go down so there weren't the lost episode that we
Oh
thought
my
that would, might happen.
my goodness, that would have caused a little bit of a monkey wrench.
Indeed.
Yeah, man.
Um,
But you did go to the other side of the world. So did you
I
run
did.
into any Cap fans while you were there?
I did. I did. While I was in the Maldives, and while I was there, I had this with me, my corksicle, and we would stop by at the pool bar and fill it up with ice water because it's really hot there, Bob. And one day, one of the bartenders, I think his name was Adi, and he was like, "Oh, are you a Captain America fan?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I am." And he's like, "Oh," and I was like, "Oh, you should check out our Facebook group. You should check out our podcast." So I don't know if we look in the records and we see the countries that are listening to us, and it says Maldives, I'm
That
pretty sure it's him.
you did that recruitment. That's amazing, isn't it? Though, like you
Yeah,
can tell somebody at the bar in did you say the Maldives?
the Maldives. Yeah,
All right. So thank you for clearing that up because it's for years it's been tormenting me whether it was Maldives or Maldives. So Maldives,
yeah,
isn't it amazing that you can encounter somebody in the Maldives and say, "Hey, check out our Facebook."
yeah. I know, right?
That's crazy.
The
If,
power of the
if
internet.
you think about that, like it just blows my mind the
Yeah, I mean,
interconnectedness.
listen, this is not the world we grew up in as kids, right?
Yeah.
Our world has expanded. It was actually really, really interesting because while we were there, the common language was English, um, which is nice, but it was also, I don't know, a little embarrassing, I felt, because I would say 5% of the people there were Americans. Um, a good portion of the people were from India. Another good portion of the people were from Asia. I would say third was people from Europe, and then maybe 5% Americans, and everybody spoke English. And I kind of like, I wish I could speak another language that fluently.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I could dabble in Spanish. Like if I go, to the Caribbean or something like that, and or in one of those islands, I can, or Mexico, I can get by.
Hmm.
But these people were fluent.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
I know. I know. Yeah. I do. I used to study foreign languages and had the opportunity to live overseas and use them. I never got to the level of fluency that I really wanted. I mean, I I could engage in conversations and such, but I miss being able to do that. I do think it broadens your mind a lot.
Yeah.
It builds those synapses. I wish we did more of that. Trying to get my son's learning Spanish now in high school, so
Hmm.
he's not applying himself as much as I'd like. But it's hard, right? Because
It is hard.
if you don't use it every day,
Right.
it's just hard to develop.
Yeah, 100%. I
Yeah.
did not do well in Spanish in high school. I actually had to go to summer school for it.
Okay. Yeah.
I wasn't. It was like learning another language.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Good simile there.
I can still conjugate like the best of them. Oh, asa, amasai san.
Yeah, I
Uh,
conjugate at least once a week. So
do you? Oh, good for you. Saturday nights, right? I think.
Saturday nights. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Um, so it is April, and we are finished round one of the Cap Madness bracket, which is exciting. Um, I would love to tell you, oh, Bob, what about that upset? But we're recording this on the day that round one kicks off.
Right.
So it is a complete
Yeah.
mystery to us.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to take a look to see if my predictions came true. I had a couple of round one guesses on who would advance. Round two. See, I have my little bracket here, Bob. I filled it out because that's what you do with brackets. You fill them out, and then you wait to see if you advance or not, and then how well you do. And so for me, round two, which is this week and next week, and for those who don't know what the heck I'm talking about, go to our Facebook page, which is the Captain America Comic Book Fans Facebook group, and I think it's just shortened for CAP. But go there and check it out. You can every day there's a poll that comes up where you can vote on who is your favorite Captain America co-star, and so we have a like most brackets, right? It's like for all brackets, it's 32 that whittles down to 16, 8, 4, and then 2, and then who the winner is. And we did 16 allies and 16 foes. So the allies all battle it out and the foes all battle it out, and it's going to come down to one ally or one foe, and we're going to vote on who is the favorite Captain America co-star. Now, Mark Domeyer, who is an English teacher, uh, he and I point that out because he pointed it out to me. He was started having a different definition of co-star, and I didn't think about how to think that through. Like I didn't think I'd have to define co-star. For me, it is characters that were synonymous with Captain America and that make up the other characters in his stories. And to me, I am voting on which of these characters do I feel make better Captain America stories, right? And other people may look at it differently. They may say, well, I just like this character more than that character. But for me, it's is a Captain America story better with this character or this character? And if we didn't have this character, how would I feel? So that's how I'm approaching it, Bob. How about you?
Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense. I mean, I think you want exciting, you want interesting, rich stories, and some characters. I mean, obviously, it depends on the writer, right? I mean, a great writer can make a subpar character more interesting,
Yep.
and a bad writer can make a really great, antagonist less interesting. But and balance which characters, I think, as you said, just make a story better, more interesting, more fun.
Right. Yep. So that's how I'm approaching it. So we're
Yeah.
we're into round two. I'm trying to see if I have any upsets that I'm looking at. So here's one for you. I don't know if this is the case. I don't know if they went this far. All right. If this happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's Crossbones versus Arnim Zola.
Ooh.
Now, Crossbones was as far as foes were ranked third as far as seeding.
Yeah.
Arnim Zola was ranked six. So Arnim Zola is up there.
Yeah.
But Crossbones is the favorite. I'm predicting an upset that Zola's going to be Crossbones, and I have a reason for it.
Yeah.
Because as much as I like Crossbones, and I think
Yeah.
he's a great foe for Captain America, I think Arnim Zola is more interesting. I think he brings more to the story. And quite frankly, Arnim Zola, for the most part, battles Cap with his mind as opposed to his fists like Crossbones.
Yeah.
And, as great, cool a character Crossbones
Yeah.
is, you can always have somebody Cap's going to be punching with. Whereas
Yeah.
Arnim Zola, I think, adds a little bit. So that's, even
Yep.
though Crossbones is ranked higher, I'm going to vote for Zola as my upset there.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think Crossbones has been done a bit of a disservice, right? We did get a little bit of his backstory, but it's a little bit of a two-dimensional backstory, right? And we really haven't seen, except for one story, I should add, a little bit off the beaten path. Do we see a side of Crossbones that really makes us think about him as a complex character? But Zola, right? He's been, his backstory has been dug into and
Oh, yeah.
sort of fleshed out, and he is a complex sort of dude. And as you said, he's a thinking, villain, right?
Yeah.
Adversary, foe, and so it just makes him more interesting, I think, and adds more dimensions to whatever story he appears in.
Yeah. And visually, he's just interesting,
Well, sure, yeah,
right? I
yeah,
mean, would I want, so the question for me is when I vote on these, would I want to have more stories with Zola or more stories with Crossbow?
yeah,
Or do I feel like Zola adds more to a Cap adversary than Crossbones does.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of vote.
No, I agree 100%. Boy, I would love to see a great in-depth Crossbones story, though, right? Where we get to learn more and we see a complex side of him. That'd be really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And I know the Diamondback fans out there probably would want to do it because they share a little bit of a backstory together as far as
they got a history
when they were young.
Yeah.
So that could be a very cool story.
Yeah. I also like your readers, by the way, Rick. I'm not there yet. I use this.
Do you know?
So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have one of these here that I use for when I got to see the small print. So.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have readers over top of my bifocal contacts.
Nice.
That's how bad my eyesight has gotten. And when I was a kid, I was nearsighted.
Yeah.
Like I didn't need anything for up close.
Right.
I just couldn't see far away.
Yeah.
And then as I've gotten older, I need both.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, they prescribed me another pair of glasses in between my close-up glasses and my far-away glasses are my like right now I'm like, I don't know, I got like 18 inches between me and the computer monitor, and I need
stop bragging.
I need a I need a special pair of glasses for that distance. So apparently they make them. So
yeah, no, times. I hear you. It's a constant battle with me.
Yeah.
Bob, as fun as this is, do you want to get to today's issue?
Yeah, we probably should.
Okay.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
I was never really a runner. The way I see running is a gift, especially when you have stage 4 cancer. I'm Anne. I'm running the Boston Marathon, presented by Bank of America. I run for Dana-Farber Cancer Institute to give people like me a chance to thrive in life, even with cancer.
Join Bank of America in helping Anne's cause. Give if you can at BofA.com/supportAnne. What would you like the power to do? References to charitable organizations is not an endorsement by Bank of America Corporation. Copyright 2025.
All right, so let me grab from the spinner rack. Today's issue is Captain America and the Falcon, issue 178. Bob, do you want to take the listeners through the cover?
Sure. Yeah. So what we have is the Captain America and Falcon logo over a stunning scene. We see a billboard on a city street someplace. You know, I love billboards. It's one of those things. Driving down the highway, billboards always get me, especially those ones that advertise like a $10 strip steak. You ever see that?
Are you serious? Like I that is surprising to me that you of all people like billboards, because I know you're big into nature.
I am.
And billboards are just eyesores.
They are
often in the middle of nature.
But they do catch my attention from time to time.
But that's the point.
On highway, right?
Yeah. I love the billboards that say, you don't think billboards work? You just read this.
Well, I was specifically referring to the ones that advertise the $10 strip steaks, because those are usually at strip clubs. And as you're driving down, I-95 on the east coast of Florida, when I go over to visit my in-laws, there's several of these for places like, I'm not going to mention the names of these establishments, as you pointed out before. Why give them free advertisement? But they're very large and they feature very large people. And I don't mean like large people. I mean large format. And they're very attractive people on these billboards driving down. And my son-in-law was like, hey, look at that one. Right. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a good one. So I enjoy those. But so we're talking a very large billboard here on the cover. Mm-hmm. And it features Captain America. And there's text on that billboard. And it says, where is Captain America? And then in smaller print, it says, perhaps the most action-packed cap thrill of them all. But here's the exciting part. We see some sort of robot creature, almost like a primordial Iron Man, bursting through this billboard, and he's firing a laser out of his helmet up toward the sky, because Falcon is swooping down over the top of the billboard with his arms outstretched as if he's going to tackle this robot. So I don't know what's going on here, Rick, but I want to know more.
Very nice. Yeah, it and the laser is shooting out one of the overhead lamps of the billboard.
So it is, yes.
Yeah, at night. And the art here for the cover is John Romita Sr., Ron Wilson, and Frank Giacoia. Release date was July 9th of 1974, but it had a cover date of October 1974. And if you have not been paying attention or you're new to the show, this is part 3 of the Nomad story that we've been doing. So this is a long tail story. This is typically the second Wednesday of the month that we're doing this. So if you want to go back and check out parts 1 and 2, that would be episode 227 and 231. And so you check out those 2 and you'll get the first 2 parts of the story, and then come back here and listen to this one. But part 3. Yeah. The creators are the same as it has been. So Steve Englehart is the writer. And also, a little plug, we had an opportunity to speak with writer Steve Englehart, and he was a great interview. We talked about a lot of different things, including this story. So you can check out that with episode 52. And then the art is by Sal Buscema as the pencils and Vince Coletta as the inker. And then I'm going to try to pronounce this name, Bob. It is Tom Oreshowski is the letterer. And Rachelson is Phil Rachelson is the colorist, and then Roy Thomas is the editor. And why not? Let's plug Roy Thomas. He was in episode 125. If you want to check that out, great interview with him.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah.
So picking up where the last issue left off, there is this villain called Lucifer. Hoo hoo. And that's a callback, by the way. That's what they call a callback. And he's a alien who's come to dominate the world, blah, 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 take it over. And he was in limbo, and then now he's on Earth, but, he needed to have a human presence, so he absorbed Rafe Michelle, who was a bad guy, kind of thug in Harlem, and then that was not going well, so he split his body in 2, and he absorbed Ares, who was in prison, and these 2 different Lucifers are split bodies, but same thought or essence, I guess. But anyway, they are about to creep up and tackle Sam Wilson, a.k.a. the Falcon. And the title of this one is, Bob?
If the Falcon should fall.
And so we see Sam in his Falcon costume, outfit, uniform, whatever you want to call it. He's sitting on the side of a building on the roof in Harlem, and he's got Red Wing. Now, Red Wing, we learned, is what kind of hawk?
Oh, gosh. Was it Argentinian or something? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Argentinian hawk? Yeah, it's a hawk.
It's a hawk, not a falcon, which really surprised me. And Red Wing is eating out of Sam's gloved hand. Here, Red Wing, munchies. Go on, eat. Quit acting so skittish. There ain't nobody around to bother us. Oh, really?
Scar!
So we turn the page, and Red Wing does scree and then flies away, and that alarms Falcon, who ducks a punch by one of the Lucifers. But through the Falcon's ears hug a head filled with the fatigue of a long night's patrol. Whoa. I don't know about you. When I read that the first time, I was like, what is that? What is Steve Englehart trying to say here?
Yeah.
I know what he's trying to say, but why is he trying to say it this way?
Yeah. It's very... overwrought, I think,
Yes.
you know.
His pinioned partner will not be dissuaded. Suddenly the bird takes wing, and his master knows trouble is indeed in the air. Lucifer. And he punches a brick rooftop.
Cram!
I've been looking for you ever since you and your look-alike ran over me at jail, Lucy. I've been looking to give you this. And he gives him a left punch in the face. But you cannot confront one Lucifer without his look-alike, fool. You might say we comprise two parts of a whole, that the two are one. And this Lucifer has hair on his chin, like Rafe did.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes and he kicks him.
Wham!
How unfortunate that your partner, Captain America, has deserted you, Falcon. You must face us alone and die the same way.
Ah!
Oh, whoa! Redwing just came and just clawed his face. And Falcon takes notice. Blast. And I thought Reddy learned some new tricks. I'm going to have to talk to him quite severely after this is over. So I guess he's not happy that Redwing clawed someone's face?
I know. It's confusing, right? Maybe he didn't want Redwing to put himself in danger.
I think I took it as Redwing was too vicious, like clawing someone's eyes was like maybe over the top.
Yeah.
Lucy, I saw you merge yourself with Rafe Michelle. Saw with my own staring eyes. Alone or not, I'm bringing you in. Both of you. Fool, you know not with whom you deal. I have challenged the X-Men, Iron Man. I use this human's body solely whatever. You can't just use anybody's body, man. Maybe you were hot stuff once, but you're only out cold now. That is due to Lucifer's transferal of 50% of his essence to this form, Falcon. And he rips up a brick chimney stack and holds it over his head and throws it at him. And it makes a noise.
Rip.
The inherently more powerful form of him who once was Ares, member of the notorious Zodiac crime cartel. Despite my alter ego's tender bearded chin, I won't be taken by any Terran. Do tell. And Falcon kicks him. And he lands into a telephone pole, which breaks the telephone pole, snaps the wires that come down, and they start sparking and going off. Ah, you are strong for a Terran, but not strong enough to truly render either my beardless self or me unconscious. Now, we attack together. No, get back, you fool! He's right, Rafe. Those wires will fry you like bacon. I am not Rafe Michelle. I am Lucifer, and the other one says, and we shall meet you another place, another time, Falcon. We go, alter ego. Then, like some sort of visual echo, the Lucifers vault into the smoggy New York night, leaving the Falcon to fume in furious frustration. Well, that was a lot of alliteration there.
It was, indeed.
And I'm a little... it says they go off into the New York night, but it was a blue sky.
Yes. Yeah, it does look like there's a lot of sunlight out, too. So.
Yeah. Okay, maybe you're stronger than me, but you're not invulnerable. Count on this, Tweedledum and D. The Falcon will find a way to take you. And then Redwing flies back.
Ah!
Right on, Reddy. The Falcon can make it alone. He could do whatever he puts his mind to, even if Cap never comes back. But for now, he sure is beat. Next page. So it is that Sam Wilson wends his way to the lady in his life. Wends his way? Would that be winds his way?
No, I think that's an old term.
Yeah?
Yeah, obviously not used anymore. I'm not even sure it was used back then, but...
Layla. Mind if I come in? Falcon, what happened to you? Just a little scuffle. Those Lucifer guys again. Little scuffle? My eye. Did you trash 'em? Nah, I was until I knocked one of 'em into a Con Ed pole and some live wires cut me off from 'em. They only got to me once, Layla, when Rafe taunted me with that one thing I've always been afraid of, that the Falcon is too much Captain America's creation to fly on his own. Hey, hey, don't talk like that. You crazy or something? Way I look at you, you're top dog now, baby. Who needs that funky white cat? The Falcon's the man now. And then we cut to the funky white cat, who is Steve Rogers in his looks like gym apparel, right? So he has a white T-shirt, very tight, tucked in to his black shorts.
Yep.
Right, gym shorts, and then he has looks like white socks, could be sneakers because I see a little bit of a tread there, and he's what do we call those acrobatic rings that people swing from?
I don't know what are those called. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, he's swinging from them.
He's swinging. Yeah.
Yeah. So Steve Rogers shouldn't go to the sea just because he's dropped off the pro circuit. I put in too much time being aware of how fit I was to ever just lie around. And he does a somersault and lands. Then he does, next page, he does some leaps over a parallel bar, lands with one hand, flips, and then lands on his 2 feet and sticks the landing by putting his 2 arms out.
Nice.
I gave up being Captain America because America is no longer the place I set out to represent in 1941. I slept through the 50s, frozen in ice, and when I was thawed in the 60s, I guess I needed to believe that nothing had changed, to prove to myself that I hadn't missed anything. Well, it took a long time coming, but I finally discovered an obvious fact. Nothing's what it was in 1941, except for this body, maybe. What with my being created through the super soldier serum, I never feel like I'm getting any older. Well, Steve Rogers has got a long life ahead of him then. A good life. And then there's a guy at the gym who's behind the counter, and he's handing him a towel. Here's your towel, Mr. Rogers. Man, I never seen anybody work like... It's weak.
Work.
Well, I don't know. It's got a W-O-I-K. Wouldn't that be a week?
Well, I don't know. I'm not Dutch.
Well, he's not Dutch either.
I don't know. It looks like a Dutch word, but yeah.
Well, I think it's like it's supposed to be like a stereotypical New York dumb guy's accent.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right. Let's try this again.
All right.
Man, I never seen anybody work out like that before. No lie. Thanks, Roscoe. But this gym doesn't have too large a membership, you know? That's why I picked it. You don't fool me. I wish I was as good. Hey, what do you think of the big news? Oh, you mean Captain America? I don't know, Roscoe. The Avengers announcement left a lot unsaid. Yeah, maybe you ought to call a press conference to explain why he ain't making no more public appearances. Next page, we cut to... we cut to a baseball game. And so the summer day comes into bloom like any summer day, and little kids make their mom's Kool-Aid to sell out front, and bigger kids read comics in the shade. And the sound of the homer is heard upon the land. Baseball is a dying game, some say, but they don't say it to a fan. Here, as everywhere, some men are idols. This one, of course, is Bob Russo. Russo's the highest paid third baseman in history, or he has been. Now, Bob, what baseball team is this?
This is apparently the blah 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 Bears.
Blah blah blah.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it did the New York City have Bears?
No.
No, I didn't think so. I don't recall them.
They have the Yankees.
They have the Yankees.
They
They
have
had the
the Mets.
Dodgers, right?
I guess the Dodgers may have still been here during this time. I don't know.
Yeah.
But is there any baseball team known as the Bears?
None that I'm aware of.
Oh. There's
Yeah.
the Cubs.
There is the Cubs.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So I
true.
guess they're Bears, right?
Yeah, I guess they're baby bears.
Yeah. So now we see Bob Russo in the locker room, and he's, got his shirt off, and other men in the locker room, and there's a reporter there. Got a story for you boys today, Mitch. Give you a chance to get your byline someplace besides the sport page for once. First off, I'm quitting the Bears. What? And second, well, look at it this way. There's no more Captain America, right? What that means is there's no costume hero calling himself Captain America, right? Well, here's your story, Mitch. Starting tonight, that's who I'm going to be. A new Captain America? Incredible! That was a fan in the locker room, I guess. And then we cut to, who is this?
Oh my gosh. Now I can't remember his name. Morgan.
Yes. It's
Morgan. Yes.
Now, Morgan is kind of like the kingpin of Brooklyn. He kind of oversees, bad stuff.
He's the Harlem crime boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's pounding the table. Incredible. My men told me you were some kind of superhumans, and you can't kill one normal man? And bird, Morgan. Don't forget the bird. Lucifer lost all of his powers except strength when he divided his essence between us. Mumbo jumbo. That's all I hear. Mumbo jumbo. I want action. The Falcon's a threat to my operation. I had 2 options, and he turned down my offer of a job, so I have to kill him. Morgan, if I hadn't needed time to consider my unexpected duality, I would never have accepted the offer you made me. Nevertheless, I have a solution for you. But then the other guy, the Rafe version of Lucifer, chimes in. One moment now. When was it decided that you would speak for both of our forms, beardless one? I was the first chosen of Lucifer. Because you were at hand. I was the sole form truly chosen. Rafe Lucifer doesn't like that. That was, pain in my head. Too much excitement, no doubt. You should control your temper, alter ego. Now then, Morgan, Lucifer came to Earth as himself, transmitted from another dimension, but he soon began fading back. To maintain his presence on Earth, he merged with a Terran criminal, Rafe Michelle. And when he found that his essence was too much for one Terran form to contain, he merged with the second criminal, me. We are separate, yet both of us are Lucifer. And Lucifer has walked this earth before. He had a laboratory in the southwest desert, from which I can obtain certain items. But Morgan's not having it. I don't care what you get or what it takes to get them. I just want results.
There's a lot of recap there, and Morgan's like, blah, 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 blah. Just give me results.
Yeah. You have a boss like that? Ever had a boss like that?
Oh, sure. I mean, I love her.
I don't want to hear the details. Just make it happen.
I love her, But yeah. Yeah.
Meanwhile, and then in this little caption, it says in parentheses, we got to say that every so often just to keep our hand in. Was that Roy Thomas?
I wonder. I wonder who that was. Yeah.
We have to say meanwhile every once in a while to keep our hand in?
That's a weird turn of phrase. But
and we have Steve Rogers in his civilian identity and Sharon Carter in her civilian identity, and they are arm in arm and walking into an apartment. An afternoon at the beach will be great, Sharon. It's fantastic just to have the time. Don't think I don't agree, darling. You'll never know how happy your decision made me. Well, yes, you will. Less Cap is more Steve for me. Psst, watch out. It's Peggy, and Gabe Jones is with her. Oh, Steve, now we'll have to play that terrible game of pretend with her again. So, just a little backstory here.
Yeah.
Peggy is in love with Captain America. Peggy is Sharon Carter's older sister in this time, 1974.
Yeah.
So she's, I don't know, middle age, right? Sharon, on the other hand, probably late 20s. So there's some age between the two of them. Sharon, of course, is in love with Steve. Steve's in love with Sharon. Gabe Jones is a former Howling Commando and who also has become an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. But he's in his civilian identity, walking with Peggy. Sherry, have you seen Cap? I mean, the Falcon checked here for him once. Sherry, I have to find him. Aren't you going to introduce us, Sharon? Oh, yes. Yes, my sister Peggy. This is Steve Rogers, my boyfriend. I forgot Peggy's never met Cap as Steve. I'm sorry, Mr. Rogers, but I'm not feeling very well right now. Please excuse me. Come on inside, sis. You can lie down. Relax. Relax? How can I relax? Sherry, the man I love has disappeared from the face of the earth. I may never see him again, and I can't even know for sure. Gabe Jones, Steve. Peggy and I were pulling the same shift where we work, and I thought she needed some help getting home. Thanks, Gabe. It's a bad scene, man. She really needs Captain America. And Sharon is consoling Peggy, who's sitting on the couch. And Steve just looks out the window with his hand up and his head pressed up against it with a very forlorn look.
Okay, come on. This is ridiculous, right? I mean, this boggles my mind, and I know it boggles yours as well. That this is so unlike Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers, honesty, transparency, ethics, right?
Yeah.
And this whole characterization. I don't know. They're trying to figure out how they're going to address this weird sort of retconny inconsistency thing. Like, how do we work this? And they're just trying to string it along until they figure it out. Because nobody in his right mind would write Steve Rogers this way. Right? I mean, it's just wrong. And it's so wrong that it just flies in the face of what he would do.
Yeah. So I agree. It also is a little ridiculous that Peggy Carter doesn't recognize Steve out of Cap's uniform. Although I think that was explained by saying, "Oh, I'm not feeling well," and she kind of puts her head down as she walks by him, and he kind of ignores him. Maybe. Yeah, it is a little something. All right, getting back to the story, we cut to several hours later. A sleek jet belonging to one of Morgan's business contacts whistles toward a barren butte, B-U-T-T-E, a barren butte?
Butte.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a butte.
Maybe I was thinking more of the billboard place for a barren butte. A butte unseen by man since we last saw it in X-Men 21. It rears sun-baked and silent and seemingly waiting for the man who schemed within it so many years ago. Now its waiting has ended. Lucifer has returned. There, beardless one. Of course, alter ego. Even halved, I would hardly forget where I established my most important beachhead in my star-spawned race's proposed conquest of Earth. Hurry, this way. Beardless one, you cannot treat me as if you were Lucifer and I your lackey. I am equally— Silence! Have you no eyes as well as no brain? Do you not see where we are? Here lies what remained of my laboratory after Dominus was drawn back into space, perfectly preserved in the dry desert air. And here are the 3 Ultra robots I never had a chance to bring into play before the Supreme One banished me for allowing my first threesome to be destroyed. With these, I shall bring the Falcon's career to a timely finale, and then... Then what, Beardless One? Why, if I have devised a plan, shouldn't you have done the same, alter ego? After all, are we not equals? Well, they're a little
Little,
they're like a
little
old married couple.
little alter ego squabbling.
Yeah. Later that same evening, in a city whose biggest claim to fame thus far has been its baseball team's contract with Bob Russo, Bob Russo is wearing a new uniform and beginning a new career. So we don't know what that town is. They've
Right.
left that out.
Yeah.
Crouched beneath an owl-eye moon.
Whoo!
I don't know what an owl-eye moon is.
I don't know. Maybe just a big one. Big full moon.
His great gloved hands gleaming richly crimson as they tense in anticipation, the new Captain America sucks in his breath and prepares to strike. Knocking over a fur store, huh? I guess those birds don't read the papers, or they don't read, period. Somebody should have warned them. And then he swings out on a cable. Captain America lives again. Look out, boys. Here I... No, wait, I misjudged my swing. And he flies into a brick wall.
Bam!
Blast, blast, blast. I think I broke my arm. Why in blazes didn't I practice before I jumped off the roof? And how did the real Cap always make it look so easy? Ow, my arm. So much for this, Captain America. All right, we cut to the next page, and we got 2 pages of letters and a marble value stamp. It's Hammerhead. And then we have 2 pages of ads. And then we cut to, a startling scene. Remember those robots that were in the desert?
Yeah,
Well,
right.
they're now flying through the air, like the one on the cover with the little ray coming out of its head. And it's blasting this city. Looks like Harlem. And everybody's running for, in a panic. And it says, "Welcome back from the land of letters, pilgrim."
Clever.
I'm thinking Roy Thomas is getting a little. He's breaking down the fourth wall here a little too
He
much,
is. Yeah.
right?
He is.
Yeah, we don't know. We just went through the letters page. Like, let us just read the comic. As you can see, things have been happening during the break. The break? So, now they're referencing.
They got an intermission?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's morning again in the middle of Harlem, and it's a morning of mayhem and murder. The Ultra Robs sow destruction much better than they operated Dominus. Don't you think, Alter Ego? And the Rafe version is holding his head, and he's like, yes, much better. You mumble, Alter Ego. Surely Lucifer would never mumble. Does your head ache again, hairy one? Then this should act as a tonic to you. The Falcon has arrived, flying unswervingly into the spider's web. Is this somebody's idea of urban renewal? Then Lucifer must be mayor. I could smell those 2 dudes' paws on this mess as plain as day. And this time, there's going to be no more messing around. I still haven't completely mastered my wings, and that's not about to slow me down. The battle that follows is a mind-boggler, as the Falcon fights like a man possessed, but strangely, it's not the battle that's of prime importance here. This is what is. The end of the battle as seen through the eyes of a homeward-bound Steve Rogers. He's been walking, unable to sit still, needing to have people around him. When the people's sudden excitement pulls his eyes up from the sidewalk to this startling scene. And what happens, Bob?
Well, one of the three Ultra Robs robots fires his beam, energy beam, at a Falcon who's flying through the air and hits him in the back.
Yeah. Now the real battle begins. Falk couldn't handle those robots. Not all three of them. They're designed for precision flight. But it's nothing to me. I've quit the superhero game. Told Falk he'd have to go it alone, and I meant it. He knew the risks. He knew what he was getting into. If he's dumb enough to let himself be blasted, he deserves... Aw, nuts. Steve runs past a sporting goods store, and there's a sign on the window. What's it say, Bob?
There just happens to be a sale on ski masks that day, Rick, for $1.
$1? Well, that's 4 comics. I don't know if I'd spend $1 on
A ski mask in the middle of
June.
Harlem.
Yeah, June.
In the summer. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, may I help you, sir? You already have, mister, by putting that sign in your window. You gave me an idea. And that plus the ski mask are all I'm going to need. And he throws $1 on the counter and he runs out the door. And the next page, he's putting the mask on his face. At least they're all I'm going to have. And then we see the 2 Lucifers standing over Falcon. Behold him, hairy one, the great Falcon, so feared by the gangster Morgan, so soon to die. Ha! Who engineered this alter ego? Whose bold plans brought us to this felicitous state? I must admit, beardless one, that you appear more bold than I. But what happens, Bob?
Oh my gosh. So Steve Rogers, now wearing a ski mask, runs up and tackles both of them from behind.
And it makes a huge noise.
Wham!
That's when the freight train hits. Next page. If those costume clowns are injured, they've got a dandy case for whiplash. They won't be up for a while. Just like that, I'm back in action. After all my soul searching, I only had to actually see Falcon trouble, and I was back at his side. No good. He takes his chances like the rest of us. The rest of the superheroes, I mean. No, I'm packing it in. What? And then there's a ray that fires down on him.
Bam!
Robot Delta is not programmed to combat you, human, yet you have struck my masters. It is my decision that for this you shall die. The robots. I was so caught up in talking to myself, I lost track of them for a moment. Inexcusable. You can't let down for a second when your life's on the line. Now the other 2 have had chance to land behind me. Robots Epsilon and Zeta block this path at all costs. So Cap starts running towards the 2, and the other one is flying behind him, chasing. Well, I got myself into this, and I'll have to get myself out of it. And old Trick's the only one that looks good right now. So I hope they haven't been programmed for the late show, and he ducks underneath the 2, and then the one chasing him crashes into them.
Bam!
I left aside at the last second, and they couldn't avoid each other. Beautiful. It makes sense that one thing they couldn't withstand was themselves. Vermin, the Ultra Robs were designed for service, not battle. You realized it exactly as Cyclops did. Now I've lost another 3. Now, wait a minute, Bob. So these robots were designed for service, not battle.
Right.
Yet, they have these laser rays that are coming out of their forehead. And if we go back to when it said they landed in Harlem, it says a morning of mayhem and murder.
Yeah. Well, they are big and they're metal.
But they're just service robots.
Yeah. Well, I think they were designed to operate that big supercomputer Dominus established, right? So maybe it's a defensive ray.
Maybe. Their forms gave them away, mister. And I try to think on my feet. And he grabs a trash can lid and nails one of them, but the other one comes behind and gives him a chokehold. As do I, masked one. Lucifer's cunning is legend. Ah, strength, incredible. But suddenly, And even more incredibly, the iron grip of Steve's windpipe relaxes, then falters, then falls away altogether. My head! My head! Whole body burning from within. Can't stand, and he falls. He's collapsing. Well, good riddance, I say. It was obvious from the beginning that one of us had to rule the other, and I chose myself. The hairy one held me back, but now nothing can stop Lucifer. But he grabs his head and yells in pain. Wrong, alter ego. If I die, you must die also. Lucifer's powers was too much for my form, so half was given to you. But I realize now the strain has taken its toll. I've been dying since he first merged with me, and our lives are linked through Lucifer. Our fates are the same, though you were yet healthy. Did I not say we are equal? No, it's not fair. It's not right. I was strong. He was weak. No, no. And with the deaths of his human hosts, the real Lucifer abruptly finds himself returned to his lost limbo. His feelings are best left unsaid. While back on Mother Earth, Falk, it's over. Are you okay? Over? You mean you saved me? Again? Oh, no. That didn't sound good. Come on in the alley, Falk. And he pulls his mask off. Sam, all of a sudden I was just doing it. I've already kicked. Couldn't help yourself, huh? You couldn't be bothered to be my partner, no matter how I pleaded, but you were right there to be my nursemaid? Well, listen, big man, I thank you for my life this time, but from now on, I'll thank you to leave the Falcon strictly alone. Got it? Phew, things are getting complicated, and there's still no Captain America. What could possibly happen next? When strikes the Golden Archer. Dun, dun, dun.
That makes me hungry for some French fries.
Golden Arches?
Yeah.
I could go for that.
Yeah. All right.
Well, Bob, what did you think of this story?
Well, look, it's not a fabulous story, right? This whole Lucifer thing was okay. It was passable. You know how I feel about the whole Peggy Sharon thing, but it's the subtext, right? It's what's going on behind the scenes, right? We find now that Steve tried to extricate himself, but he's having a hard time giving it up, right? He can't give up keeping in shape. Now, I can assure you, I spent 25 years keeping this body in prime physical condition. I had no problem kicking that habit when I walked away. But Steve Rogers, no. He's got to stay in the absolute prime condition, right? Uh-huh. And then he can't help himself but get involved when he sees this going down. So I don't know. What's going to happen here, Rick, but
yeah. Well, yeah, I guess it's interesting because Steve had the crisis of faith with this government, and he didn't feel that as Captain America he could continue, so he's giving it up. But as we see, he sees somebody in peril, he's going to help, right?
Can't help it.
That's Steve Rogers. That's his nature.
Yeah.
So it's all leading somewhere, and we know where it's leading.
Right.
But yeah. Steve Englehart's writing this, and the people at the time in 1974 did not know where this was going. Him borrowing the character from the X-Men, Lucifer, that was all right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
He got rid of Rafe Michelle, so
he was annoying.
Yeah.
All right, Bob. I go first. You went first last time, so
you got a favorite panel?
I do have a favorite panel, Bob. I'm going to go. You know me. I'm a sucker for seeing multiple versions of the character in the same panel.
As soon as I saw that, I said, that's Rick's favorite panel.
It is. So page 10, panel 1, that's Steve Rogers at the gym. We see 5 Steve Rogers plus a Captain America face in the background looming, watching the whole thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my favorite.
All right. That's a good one.
How about you?
Well, I'm going with the opening splash page on page 1. And I'm an animal guy, Rick. And every morning I get up and I feed the birds and the squirrels and the bunnies in my yard. And it's a time of day that I treasure, right? It's a quiet time. It's meditative. It's reflective. And I see this with Falcon, right? He's sitting there with a little quiet time with Redwing, and they're just hanging out, enjoying this peaceful time, and I like that. I like seeing this relationship between Redwing and Falcon, because they're either in combat, or looking for combat, and here it's just a moment of them being together as friends and partners. And so I like this for that reason.
I dig that. That's pretty cool. And how are the Duckersons? They're back, right?
They are back. Yes. Thank you for asking. They showed up when we're recording this. It was just a couple days ago. And I was surprised because they've been coming. This is the 6th year that they've returned, this couple, a male and a female duck. And they usually arrive around, the middle of March. And so we're recording this. It's the 23rd of March. So they're a couple weeks late. And I thought, well, maybe one of them died, because, they're getting toward the end of their lifespan, and there's lots of accidents. But they showed up one morning, and they just walked right up to my wife and said, "Quack, where is he?" And then now they come in the morning and they come in the afternoon. So pretty soon, only one of them will show up, because this is the time when they mate and raise their ducklings. And so later on, one of them will stay with the ducklings, and the other will come by, and they'll take turns. So
that's sweet.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
Sweet that they keep coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bob, what are you putting on a t-shirt?
All right. Well, this is kind of a funny one, but it's the second to the last page, Rick. And it's that middle right panel where Steve is wearing that green mask. We see him from behind, and he just smashes Lucifer in the face with the trash can, and it makes that sound effect, Kong.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve says, "And I try to think on my feet." I'm going with that.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to try. We all got to try to think on our feet.
It's true.
If you don't have a shield, use a trash can, right? Make do with what you got.
Yep. All right. That's cool.
Yeah. And how about yourself?
I'm going with one. You pulled something a little while back when you put on a t-shirt. Didn't you put somebody who wasn't Captain America, but he was dressed as Captain America or something like that?
I think I did. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, well, people wouldn't know that, and
right.
Well, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to go with page 17, the 4th panel. And that's where we got Bob swinging down. This is Captain America lives again. He's swinging with the cable, and he has both his hands above his head. Look out, boys. Here I don't know. That's people will assume it's Steve Rogers, but
sure.
But if you know, you know.
If you know, right? And so it's got a double value, right? The surface value and then if you know value. So
that's right.
Nice. And how about your time capsule?
Well, I'm going back to that page 10, which had Steve, with the multiple pages, but the whole page, because he's talking about 1941. He's talking about I slept through the 50s, and when I was thawed in the 60s. So this definitely places this, like the rolling Marvel timeline, is not existent yet, right? Like
I thought that as well when you read this.
Yeah. And so I'm putting it on for that reason. And then also this page, because it's the first appearance of Roscoe.
That's true. Right. Yeah.
How about you? What's going on in your time capsule?
Excellent. Well, I'm going back to page 10, Rick. You picked that acrobatic panel as your favorite panel, but I for my time capsule, I'm going with Steve's shorts. And this is because I don't know how it was for you, but I remember middle school, which was mid late 70s. Coach Pelly was the athletic coach, and he wore those really, really tight, short, very much like Steve Rogers, polyester athletic shorts, right? They were like skin tight, right? Spandex hadn't, it'd been invented in 1958, but it really wasn't in clothing yet, not until another decade or so. So it was all this sort of polyester, so Steve Rogers shorts remind me of Coach Pelly, and how common these shorts were among coaches and athletic directors in that time frame. So you don't see that much anymore.
No, you don't.
I think they're banned. They should be anyway.
Well, didn't the coach on the Goldbergs?
Yes, exactly. He had them as well. Yes.
Yeah.
That was the end of the heyday of those shorts.
Or remember the movie Porky's?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Right. I think the coach in that one also.
Yeah. Right. I mean, it was that. Those were the quintessential coach shorts of those days.
The gym instructor. Shorts. Yeah.
Yeah.
PE instructor.
That's it.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was fun. All right. We'll come back to this in another 4 weeks, and we'll get to part 4, where we see the Golden Archer. All right. So, Bob, as always, fun wrapping cap.
It has. Can't wait to next week.
All right. And this is the part in the show where I plead with everybody to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen. You know what? Share this too. Let's get your fellow comic fans out there. Let them know about the show. We would love to hear also comments in the Facebook group as well. You can leave comments on Spotify, on Apple, and on YouTube. Always love hearing your feedback. So until then, we thank you for listening to another episode of the Captain America Comic Book Fans Podcast.